Right now at 6, authorities in Oklahoma investigate the injury of an Ottawa County inmate.
And after all the clouds clear out today, we're heading into a really nice weekend.
Plus, the ARMA fire chief addresses some community concerns about department programs.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
Yes, and it's Friday, January 31st, so the end of the month, beginning of the weekend. It's also National Hot Chocolate Day. I don't know if you like hot chocolate or what's your go-to morning drink? Hot, at least.
Hot drink, green tea.
Yeah,
I like
good.
Tea.
That's good.
I like hot chocolate, but you gotta have hot chocolate movie night, when Christmas time, watching all the holiday movies. That's my favorite time. But today is not a bad day for hot chocolate because it is going to be a bit cooler, one of the cooler days we've seen this week. Temperatures are only getting into the low 50s, upper 40s, but let's go ahead and take a look outside right now. We can see a little bit of overcast, a little bit of fog still sticking around, but at some point clouds are going to clear mid-afternoon today, and then we're looking ahead to have a really nice weekend. But until then, right now temperatures are going to be in the mid-40s. We're still seeing that overcast. Overcast is going to stick around through most of the day today and starting to clear mid-afternoon. We also have a southerly breeze, but those winds are shifting as we head into the rest of the morning. Now, most of the fog has started to clear out. There's still some patchy areas out near Carthage, Neosho, even Carl Junction. A little bit less visibility, only about 7 miles, but in just an hour or two, all of that is going to clear out. Now, we still do have a dense fog advisory for a couple counties out in Kansas, but again, overall, most of the fog's clearing out. Now, we're having some more clouds pushing in from the tail end of that low pressure system as it wraps around. A little bit of rain showers still kind of sticking around. Those are going to be making their way into our northwestern counties, but the rest of us just dealing with the cloudy skies, the overcast for most of the morning. Like I said, it does start to clear later on today, midday. Temperatures are only warming up to about mid-40s by about 11 a.m. And then we're heading into a decent afternoon and evening, but I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. We'll see you soon. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is looking into the injury of an inmate at the Ottawa County Jail. The Sheriff's Department says on January 22nd, a woman was transported to the Miami Integris Hospital by ambulance from her home in Miami for a possible overdose. We're not using the woman's name because she is not charged with a crime. And while at the hospital, the woman reportedly became aggressive with the medical staff. Miami police officers arrested her on probable cause for battery of a medical professional. The Sheriff's Department says when the woman arrived at the jail, she was unable to walk without assistance due to what appeared to be symptoms of intoxication and at times acted aggressively towards jail staff. Authorities say she was not placed into general population and was kept where jailers could observe her on video. Now, they say she was taken back to the hospital for treatment after striking her head on the floor, then brought back to the jail on January 23rd, where she was placed in a holding cell by herself. Now, they say over the weekend she was watched and nothing appeared to change with her condition. Then on Monday of this week, the woman appeared in court with injuries that included 2 black eyes. In a news release, Sheriff David Dean says, quote, "It was reported to me on Monday that the woman may have been seriously injured while detained in the Ottawa County Jail. My office has begun a preliminary investigation into the matter. At this time, it does not appear that any person assaulted her." Now, at the sheriff's request, the OSBI is investigating this case, and the district attorney's office has dismissed the criminal charges against the woman, saying it does not appear she was able to form a criminal intent at the hospital. Authorities are cleaning up from a train derailment in Columbus, Kansas yesterday afternoon. Now, there are no reports of injuries, and the crash is impacting the railroad crossings on Kansas and High School Avenue. The crossings were blocked for a few hours while they worked to move the cars back onto the tracks. And now you can stay up to date with the latest news, weather, and sports with the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. It's available on Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, Apple TV Plus, and Roku. The player is also available on our news and weather apps as well as our website. Watch live streaming anytime, absolutely free. The KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Many people haven't prepared to deal with the impact of an unexpected loss, but there are some things you can do. KOAM spoke to some professionals in Joplin about what you can do to make family life easier and more transparent after you or a family member passes. They say there will be many questions, but being prepared will save time, money, and most importantly, stress.
You have a car, for example. The DMV isn't just going to give your car to your child. They don't know if that's your only child. They want an order from the court, from the probate court, that tells them who they should give that car to.
Always encourage people to have those answers written down somewhere. Start that conversation with your loved ones at any time. It's never too early.
Adamson says having a power of attorney will also make things a lot smoother. The Arma, Kansas Fire Department responds to reports of a change in two of its programs that had generated a lot of community concern. An anonymous Facebook post said the department is discontinuing their junior fire program and their sleep-in program. The post sparked concerns from residents who say the junior fire department opens doors for young people to learn and grow as a firefighter. Now, people were also concerned because the sleep-in program allows for quick responses to overnight calls. Now, the fire chief clarified that he does not plan to end the junior program or the sleep-in program.
The living program still is going on. We've got some people that are moving out because they got jobs. So we're still looking for new people.
He says people interested in either program can come to the Arma Fire Department to learn more about joining. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Starbucks is cutting 30% of its menu to help simplify orders and cut down on wait time. Plus, the search continues after the deadly collision of an American Airlines jet and military helicopter near Washington, D.C. And Lindsay Gaffney returns with another look at your Friday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning. Apple's new iPhone fell short of forecasts, but that didn't stop the company from reporting record sales. On Thursday afternoon, the world's most valuable company reported $124 billion in revenue last quarter. The iPhone 16 made $69.7 billion, which is $1 billion less than analysts estimated for the holiday season. But the company performed particularly poorly in China, raking in $18.5 billion there, more than $2 billion short of estimates. Mac and iPad sales went up. But what really propped up Apple's revenue was its services sector. Now, that includes things like Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, and device warranties. The segment grew to $26.3 billion from just over $23 billion during the same quarter in 2023. Well, Chili's is pulling off one of the biggest turnarounds in recent restaurant history. Chili's restaurants open for at least a year increased sales more than 30% last quarter. It's the company's third straight quarter of double-digit sales growth. Chili's success has been fueled by its fast food-like deals and $6 margaritas, as well as viral TikTok videos, which have drawn younger customers to its doors. Chili's reported foot traffic increased 20% last quarter. And coffee lovers headed to Starbucks can expect to see a scaled-down menu. The coffee giant is cutting about 30% of its drink and food items. CEO Brian Niccol made the announcement in an earnings call Tuesday. The new streamlined menu is expected to simplify ordering and speed up service. It's unclear what specific items are going away, but the company has already gotten rid of its lineup of olive oil drinks and iced energy beverages. The changes are part of Niccol's plan to make Starbucks more profitable. That's after the company saw its fourth consecutive quarter of declines at the end of last year. Starbucks' new menu is expected to be rolled out in the coming months. Well, first-time flying for unemployment benefits fell by 16,000 claims last week. The level of jobless claims remains low, indicating there's some stability in the labor market. Now, economists have attributed the pullback in job growth largely to employers holding back on hiring rather than doing mass layoffs. But that means it is taking longer for unemployed people to find work. Continuing claims, which are filed by people who have received jobless benefits for at least a week, have been hovering around 3-year highs. Even so, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Wednesday the labor market remains solid. This morning, the search for victims and answers continues in the wake of the collision between an American Airlines regional jet and military helicopter near the nation's capital. All 67 people involved are presumed dead, according to officials on the ground. Natalie Brand has more from Arlington, Virginia.
Dive recovery efforts are expected to resume today in the Potomac River for the victims of Wednesday night's tragic mid-air collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter. Investigators are also combing through the site collecting evidence. The National Transportation Safety Board says it's analyzing the plane's 2 black boxes, vital pieces in their search for answers.
We want to make sure we get it right. We take our time. We involve a lot of people, a lot of parties. That's the best way to make sure that we don't let tragedies like this happen again.
At the time of the crash, both aircraft were flying at about 400 feet. Military helicopters are supposed to stay below 200 feet. Sources also tell CBS News that just one air traffic control worker was managing helicopter traffic and some planes taking off and landing when the collision happened, a task that's usually handled by 2 different people at that time of day.
As part of any investigation, we look at the human, the machine, and the environment.
This was the first major commercial plane crash in the United States in around 16 years. Among those killed, young figure skaters, their parents, and coaches returning from a competition and training camp.
I couldn't believe it at first, but after reality sets in, it's tragic.
Memorials of flowers placed in their honor at ice rinks in Northern Virginia and Boston. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Arlington, Virginia.
And TSB officials tell CBS News that they are expected to release a preliminary report on the crash in 30 days. Now, they say the report will lay out some of their findings over the next few weeks, but it's not likely to have a probable cause of the incident. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Lindsay with a look at your forecast.
Well, we are still seeing some clouds moving in, maybe an isolated shower or two over the next hour or so in our northeast. Amount of rain that we've seen already, almost 2 inches out in the east and less than half an inch out in the west. Now after this, we're going to head into a really nice weekend, but I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
Valentine's Day is 2 weeks away, and it has a lot of people thinking about love. Now, in New York City, there's an effort underway for residents to showcase their love. John Diaz has more on the love letters people are writing to the city.
It's a city like no other.
Dear New York.
And hundreds of New Yorkers are showing it the love they say it deserves, like Audrey Slacken.
Dear New York.
By writing it a love letter.
There's so much love in the city that we don't get to see on a day-to-day basis.
Her letter to the Big Apple, more of a thank you for introducing her to her boyfriend while she was working at a bakery.
He always says I came in for a croissant and came out with a girlfriend. But that feels very, very New York City, very quintessential rom-com, and I don't know that I could have had that story anywhere else.
And leaving the letter inside a special red mailbox at the bakery La Appartement 4F in downtown Brooklyn. The owner says she's honored to be one of the 13 locations selected as a drop-off spot because of its origin story.
Our bakery was built on a love story. I opened this spot with my husband, Gautier.
The founder of Pop-Up Florist, Kelsey Hayes, is spearheading the campaign Love Letters of New York City.
Handwritten letters are kind of a lost art form. I want to bring it back.
She says the letters are all anonymous and they don't need to be made out to New York. It could be for anyone. She's just looking to celebrate love in all its forms and the city's deep connections.
A lot of people have different experiences, and I really want that to come through in the letters. There's nothing like getting a love letter. There's nothing like getting a letter. There's nothing like getting a thank you card. So I think I really want people to be inspired by this, to actually just get off your phone and write a love letter.
And in a city this big, love is all around. The proof is in their pens.
Well, the best 30 letters will be displayed at an art show in the coming weeks. Let's head over to Lindsay for a quick look at your forecast.
Well, we have overcast skies, but heading into the rest of the day, cloudy skies in the morning, a little bit of winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour, 25 miles per hour. Warming up to the low 50s and clouds start to break up, but we're heading into an even nicer weekend. I'm going to have a foliage forecast coming up. Well, taking a look downtown Pittsburgh, looking pretty good, though still a little bit of fog. Visibility isn't too bad out there, only about 7 miles visibility, so we're only down like a mile or two. Now, dense fog advisory has been lifted in the area because most of the fog is out of here, though it was until about 7 a.m. We've seen a good bit of rain, especially out on the Missouri side. Carthage and just east of Carthage saw about 2 inches of rain. Joplin and south, less than an inch of rain, and then out in Kansas and even in Oklahoma, going to be less than half an inch of rain. So not a ton out in Kansas and Oklahoma. Now, most of the rain that was moving back in has started to really dissipate. Could still see an isolated shower or two make it into the area, but really we're just going to be seeing those clouds pushing in. So starting off this morning, overcast skies, that's going to continue through midday today. Temperatures are in the mid 40s to lower 40s. We've got northerly winds and gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Now, heading into the afternoon, it's still going to be mostly cloudy, especially on the Missouri side. Kansas counties are going to start to see the sun kind of peeking through some of those clouds. Temperatures warming up to the upper 40s and low 50s, and winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour. So taking a look at our future track, we have seen most of this starting to dissipate, but again, a couple of isolated showers could make it a little bit further into the area. Temperatures are going to warm up into the upper 40s, again, low 50s. That's going to be moving in right around 3:30. 48 in Joplin, 50 in Miami, 52 in Parsons. Then clouds start to break up, like I said, later on this afternoon. Heading into the weekend, it's going to be much, much nicer. A little windy on Saturday with winds gusting 25 to 35 miles per hour throughout the day, but temperatures warming up to the low 60s. And then on Sunday, mid to upper 60s. So it's going to be really nice this weekend. Clouds do start to increase on Sunday, but again, overall, really fantastic weekend. Now we're cooling down a little bit on Monday. Heading into the afternoon, clouds start to increase. We've got a warm front moving through on Tuesday, where we're going to see these isolated scattered showers kind of pushing in. Now with this, it's going to be very light isolated showers, a lot of drizzle just kind of throughout the afternoon on Tuesday and into Wednesday as well, pushing further north. With warm fronts, we typically see these days of drizzle, overcast. That's what we're going to see Tuesday and into Wednesday. Now there's our cold front. Starts to push back to the southeast Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. So about 7:30, we're going to see just kind of the tail end of that pushing out of the area. Then winds out of the north heading into Thursday. So we're going to see a cooler weekend. But until then, we've got temperatures a little cooler today, low 50s, upper 40s. A nice weekend in the 60s and mostly sunny, a little windy though. And then heading into next week with a chance of rain. Now that's looked forecast. Let's go over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. We know that social isolation takes a toll on our physical health. Now, a study published in JAMA Network shows the risk factors that can lead to loneliness. The research showed people who live in rural areas, are unemployed, and have low incomes or suffer from chronic diseases are more likely to be socially isolated, with depression being the biggest risk factor. Another good reason to floss. People who floss once a week have a lower risk of stroke. An American Heart Association study suggests oral health is linked to overall health. Researchers say regular flossing lowers the chance of oral infections and inflammation and encourages other healthy habits. Well, being optimistic could save you money. Research by the American Psychological Association found people who were more positive about the future tended to save more money over time than pessimists. The effect was the greatest for people with lower incomes, but the study found anyone with an optimistic outlook may be more motivated to save. And as the new year begins, many people are searching for ways to improve their mental and physical well-being. Nicole Nielsen introduces us to a Texas woman who says the key to a better life came from an unexpected source: weightlifting.
Life can oftentimes feel heavy, but Alexis Andrews uses weights to help her lighten the mental load.
It's always hard at the beginning.
It might seem contradictory, but 3 years ago, she walked into the gym for the first time, looking for a way to decompress. But what she discovered was so much more than a workout routine. Weight training, she says, became a transformative practice, not just for her body, but for her mind.
I used to have anxiety and depression, and really working out just helped me focus on myself.
The routine was simple at first, but quickly grew into a daily habit that taught her discipline, patience, and the power of showing up for yourself. It transformed her mindset. She feels her best and can show up even better in other areas of her life. The benefit, all beyond that half hour each day.
But working out, I just go in how I feel, and I always come out better. Always. Every time.
She admits it's not always easy. In fact, just getting to the gym each day sometimes is the hardest part. For Alexis, the journey to the gym has helped her build a stronger, happier life.
Even if you hate it, even if you don't feel like it that day, just go to the gym. Even if you don't know what you're doing, going on the treadmill for like 30 minutes to an hour just walking will just be like, you'll just feel so much better.
Nicole Nielsen, CBS News, Texas.
Strength training can also have benefits as we age, such as maintaining muscle and mobility. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, teachers in the Pittsburgh School District received the gift of grant money.
Well, we start the day a little cloudy, but clearing out to have a really nice weekend.
Plus, kindergarten kids in Carthage celebrate a milestone in their new school year.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30, just coming up on 6:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Lindsay Gaffney.
It's finally Friday. The start of, we keep saying it, I feel like we've been talking about it all week. Just a beautiful weekend. I'm so excited for it. I can't contain my excitement.
This is what we call that fall spring. I'm sure we've heard it, for years now. It's the first taste of spring that we're going to see. However, we do revert back a little bit, but I am going to enjoy it while it lasts. So we can go ahead and take a look outside. Temperatures right now are going to be in the mid to lower 40s, and you can see still a little bit of fog out there, but really it's starting to lift, so visibility is getting a little bit better, and we're not seeing any rain pushing in. Overcast is just going to continue for the next couple of hours into midday today before it starts to really break up. Now, we do have winds gusting 15 to 20 miles per hour, but overall it is looking pretty good. Like I said, visibility is still low in some areas, but towards later in the morning, we're going to see that lifting, and our extended dense fog advisory has been lifted as well. So our entire area has been cleared out for the fog. Now we are still seeing that overcast pushing into the area. A little bit of showers up near Yates Center, but really most of that's dissipated. So we're just going to deal with some clouds in the area, and then taking a look, we can see everything else is clearing out, warming up by midday. I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. The list of schools in southern Missouri calling off class because of widespread illness is growing. And districts still in session are seeing fewer students in the classrooms, so keeping students healthy is a top priority. Next up, public schools, for example, has what's called a UVC card. Now, it uses ultraviolet light to kill germs and disinfect entire rooms in just 15 to 30 minutes. Now, the light is able to reach places some custodians may not even think to clean. Administrators say the decision to shut down classrooms doesn't come lightly.
Our top priority is the health and safety of our students and our staff, and then our community too. We never make, closing school lightly. We never make this decision lightly. It's a very hard decision for administration to make, but we did feel it necessary to do this.
The school's undergoing deep cleaning, hope to resume classes next week. Alumni from Cherokee County who graduated from Pitt State recently gathered for an event featuring guest speaker Joe Levins, Interim Associate Dean of the Crossland College of Technology. The meeting provided updates on the university's upcoming plans and offered networking opportunities. The event was also open to the public with a $12 registration fee, encouraging both alumni and community members to connect.
And I like it. I come to each one that I'm invited to. Cherokee County does their own, as do the other counties, and I like the people. I like to visit. They bring Southeast Kansas chicken.
Pitt State has 6 more gorilla gatherings scheduled until March. Well, yesterday, the USD 250 Foundation recognized 30 teachers from Pittsburgh's elementary schools, community middle school, and high school with grants totaling more than $28,000. The ceremony took place at Pittsburgh High School in the Collaboration Room at 4 p.m. Foundation President Don McNay and Vice President John Bartlow celebrated the recipients and provided insight into the grant program. Attendees had the opportunity to interview the winners and board members and snap photos. With school dismissal at 3:25, the parking lot was clear for guests to easily arrive. Kindergartners at the Columbian Elementary School in Carthage celebrated a milestone yesterday. Staff and students took a look back on their first 100 days of the school year. The celebration featured a variety of fun activities and crafts, all using the number 100.
The kids work really hard and they need to be celebrated for the work that they do. It's so important for us to recognize that 100 is a big number, it's a big thing, and we've worked really hard to get to where we are.
All 5 classrooms took part in yesterday's celebration. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. It's Friday, and that means Shannon Becker joins us with his big 3 stories of the week. And we have a chilly and cloudy day today. We'll have what to expect with Lindsay Gaffney in the Sky Watch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. We've got Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Good morning. Happy Friday to you, Shannon.
Happy Friday. Is that what we say?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what I always say because I'm happy it's Friday.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. Let's take a look at the big 3 stories this week, live and local. What's happening where you live? Baby boxes. This is Joplin Fire Station number 7. And Joplin Fire Chief Gerald Ilzel led the, I guess you could say, ceremony where they dedicated a baby box, a Missouri Safe Haven baby box. There are now 4 in the state, and in fact 2 of them are right here in the Joplin area, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
So they dedicated that in the morning, and then in the afternoon, here's Carthage Fire Station number 2, which is located just on I-49. You can see it right there in the middle, in the front of the building. You can see that from the road.
Wow.
So it's a way that maybe people don't realize, but someone can give up their newborn child up to 45 days old without any repercussions as long as there's no abuse.
Okay.
So it's maybe an easier way, I guess, to give up your child because you can do it at any police station, any fire station, but maybe this is a little more non-confrontational.
Absolutely.
You can read more about the amazing stories that they can tell also about the Safe Haven baby boxes. KOAM News Now on our website. Our number 2 story. This was a serious crash near Fidelity. The vehicle right there, that black vehicle, crossed the center line and struck the other one, Camaro, head on. Happened over the weekend. The crazy thing about this, it was a distracted driver, but not by a phone, but by the maps on their screen in the car.
Which I totally understand that. I mean, they're big screens.
They are.
They're like big phones.
I know. So not laughing, but it's mind-blowing to think. Admitted that they were distracted. They were from California and traveling, which of course that can happen.
That's a horrible
so
crash.
if you need to maybe use those directions, obviously pull over. Missouri now, you're not supposed to have your phone in use while driving. Our number 1 story, KOAM News Now, Joplin News First, an armed robbery at Darla's Liquor. Now Darla's is a long-time tradition on the state line. They're between Oklahoma and it's on the Missouri side. This is the man they're looking for. They clean these photos up for you. They are seeking this male white individual, armed robbery. He had a weapon, took the money from the cashier, but then went around the counter and then assaulted the cashier, pistol whipped him. It was a violent assault.
Yes.
He was hospitalized for a short time, the clerk was, but he is recovering, and they are still asking for more information. It happened late last Friday. Our bonus story of the week, I heard you talking about it.
Yes.
It's going to be great weather, Lindsay says, and it's the Art Con. So this is something that I didn't have growing up.
Yes.
You know, all of us geeky kids like me, you know, we're geeks or whatever. I don't know, but geek is cool now. They'll have esports, they'll have cosplay, they've got panels, they've got different celebrities that are coming in. There's Izzy B, he's a writer here in the area. He'll have some of his books, I believe, there. Great guy. So if your kids are interested in this sort of thing, it's a tradition.
of course.
I want to say it's 6 years now they've been doing it. In Neosho, sponsored by Neosho Arts Council. It's ArtCon tomorrow from 10 until 5.
Yes, it's such a cool event to have in Southwest Missouri. You know, we had Neosho Arts Council on yesterday.
Yeah,
We were
I
just
saw.
talking about the event.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
So, you know, best of luck to them, and hopefully you can check it out. Well, Shannon, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Happy to have you as always. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, it's time to celebrate. It's birthdays and anniversaries here in the 4 states now. The KOAM Morning News yesterday was cut short due to a special report by CBS News, and that means we weren't able to celebrate yesterday's January 30th birthdays with you all. So we're going to do that right now, starting with Gabriel Sanders turning 8. Happy birthday.
Heading over to Jasper, Missouri, turning 19 today, Jake Harris. Happy birthday, Jake.
And happy 30th birthday to Alicia Kay. It says here, happy birthday. We love you, your family.
And back in Jasper, Missouri, turning 35 today, Jacob Jennings. Happy birthday, Jacob.
And happy 43rd birthday to Ira Harina.
Lonnie Arnell turning 77 out in Erie, Kansas today. Happy birthday.
And in Pittsburgh, happy 81st birthday to Sharon Norris. It says that she's pictured here with all of her grandkids. What a great photo. Happy birthday, Sharon.
And happy 15th birthday to Isabella Grace. The message says, happy birthday, Mom loves you always and forever, and hope you have the best day and year ever.
And making our way to Neosho Falls, a happy 43rd birthday to Jamie Adair.
And happy birthday to Eric Carter.
And as we mentioned, those were yesterday's birthdays. So right now we're going to celebrate today's Friday birthdays. We're going to start with 1-year-old Olivia Nading in Oswego. It says here, happy birthday, love your family.
And turning 5 today, Josette Baldwin. Happy birthday.
And happy 12th birthday to Reed Prophet in Pittsburgh.
Out in Seneca, Missouri, happy 13th birthday to Ryder Murphy. Message says, happy birthday from Mom, Dad, Roman, Rhineley, Nanny, and the rest of the family. We love you.
And in Liberal, a happy 17th birthday to Joy Creed. It says here, happy birthday from Dad, Mom, Kendall, and Grandma Winslow.
And a big 18th birthday to Ashton Allen out in Mulberry, Kansas. Happy birthday, Ashton.
And in Pittsburgh, happy 23rd birthday to Hannah Rowe, pictured there with our very own Tanya Bach. Great photo there. Happy birthday.
And happy birthday, Jonathan Honeshell, 44 today out in Carthage, Missouri.
And in Chanute, a happy 59th birthday to Deion Thompson. It says, love ya from the family.
And Nicholas Ybarro turning 52 today out in Joplin, Missouri. Message says, happy birthday from Teresa and our cat Zim.
Making our way back to Chanute, a happy 70th birthday to Jen Cam.
And turning 70 today, happy birthday, Tim Berry. Message says, happy birthday, love your wife and family.
And in McCune, a happy 80th birthday to Brenda Parsons.
And we've got an anniversary, happy 50th anniversary to Wayne and Peggy Giles out in Miami, Oklahoma.
And another 50th anniversary, this time in Granby. A happy anniversary to Cliff and Julie Kerr.
And happy birthday to Mariah Mansour McConnell, our digital content producer. Happy birthday, Mariah.
Absolutely. And last but not least, a happy birthday to Chandler Humble and Gerard, turning 24 today. It says, love ya, Nana and Popo. It was a wonderful birthday list. Again, thank you so much for celebrating your birthdays and anniversaries with us both yesterday and today. If you'd like to celebrate your birthday or your anniversary, you can do so by submitting it to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. Be sure to include those wonderful photos, messages to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen. That's very important. And to also include the date of your celebration as well to ensure that we're celebrating you on your actual birthday or anniversary. Now let's head over to Lindsay for a full look at the forecast.
Well, taking a look at downtown Pittsburgh, most of the fog has lifted and we're looking mostly clear. Still a little kind of drizzle, and that overcast is going to continue along with winds picking up following that front. So our low pressure system's now shifting off. So we got winds out of the west, northwest as we head into the morning, 9:30, gusting 15 to 20 miles per hour, but winds strengthen even more, 20 to 25 miles per hour, even getting up to 30 miles per hour out in the west by early this afternoon, about 2 p.m. And then those winds will continue but die down a little bit later around 7 p.m. Now we do have winds picking back up on Saturday, but we'll get to that later. Now, mostly overcast skies. Could see still a little bit of a shower kind of pushing further south out towards Chanute and just to the east, but really most of us are just dealing with the overcast for majority of the day today. So you're starting your morning off. It's in mid 40s. Again, overcast, winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour, but 15 to 20 miles per hour out of the northwest. And then heading into this afternoon, winds are more out of the north, still gusting up to 25, 30 miles per hour. And we're warming up to the upper 40s, low 50s, about 48, 49, 50 degrees across the area. And then clouds do start to break up a little bit as well. So looking at our future track, we saw this one shower is still kind of pushing through. The rest of it's not quite making it to the surface. And then overcast skies. Now that's going to continue to push through. Temperatures by 9:30 getting into the mid 40s, 45 in Joplin, 43 in Miami and Parsons, and then continuing later in the day, we could see that shower make it all the way down to Miami, but again, likely that's not going to happen. We're mostly just dealing with the overcast for most of us, but by midday, we're going to start to see these clouds pushing further east. Temperatures warming up to 48 in Joplin, 50 Miami, 52 in Parsons, looking pretty good for the rest of the day, and then those clouds are going to continue to shift off to the east. So we're starting off Saturday pretty windy. Winds pick up back up early Saturday morning, gusting up to 35 miles per hour throughout the day. Temperatures warming up to about 60 degrees though. And then Sunday, 65, 66 degrees. So it's going to be much warmer. Clouds do start to increase later on Sunday night, but winds have died down. So overall, it is going to be just a fantastic weekend. Perfect weekend to get outside, do any outdoor activities, yard work, just be out hiking, playing with the dogs. Now, clouds do increase on Monday, and then we're going to have more rain chances starting Tuesday. Now, it's a warm front moving through on Tuesday morning, so winds are out of the north, and we're just going to have this overcast, drizzle pretty much most of the day on Tuesday. Those light showers will continue until Wednesday afternoon, pushing further north, but that cold front moves through out of the west, pushing further north, southeast, and then we're going to see the heavier rain kind of develop. Now it does start to clear out by 7:30 in the morning on Thursday, and then most of your Thursday is going to be mostly sunny, and then we're back to a cooler weekend next weekend, but back to the sunny, partly cloudy skies next weekend. Now, we do have a really great weekend ahead. 50 degrees on Saturday, 60 Sunday, 65 on Sunday, and then overcast skies in the later afternoon hours. Now we do drop in temperatures a little bit on Monday, mid 50s, and then cooler on Tuesday. Another warm up Wednesday, and they're back to cooler temperatures Thursday and through the rest of the weekend. Now let's look to forecast coming up when the KOAM morning news switches on over to Fox 14. We'll see how a bakery in Pennsylvania is getting an early start for Groundhog Day.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is looking into the injury of an inmate at the Ottawa County Jail. Miami police officers arrested a woman on probable cause for battery of a medical professional while being treated for a possible overdose. At court on Monday, the woman appeared with injuries that included 2 black eyes. The district attorney's office has dismissed the criminal charges against the woman, saying it does not appear she was able to form a criminal intent at the hospital. Authorities are cleaning up after a train derailed in Columbus, Kansas yesterday afternoon. Well, there are no reports of injuries, and the crash impacted the railroad crossings on Kansas and High School Avenue. The crossings were blocked for a few hours while they worked to move the cars back onto the tracks. And the USD 250 Foundation recognized 30 teachers with grants totaling more than $28,000. The ceremony took place at Pittsburgh High School. Foundation President Don McNay and Vice President John Bartlow celebrated the recipients and provided insight into the grant program. Attendees had the opportunity to interview the winners and board members and snap photos. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And our temperatures today warming up to the upper 40s, low 50s, with our weekend looking fantastic. Really nice conditions, mostly sunny, increasing clouds on Sunday, a little windier on Saturday, but temperatures are going to be in the lower 60s Saturday and mid to upper 60s on Sunday. So overall, it's going to just be a really wonderful weekend. Rain chances next week, but I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
Absolutely. 60-65 to start off the month of February is a great way.
It is. This is what we call fall, spring, this time of year. But we are, unfortunately, I can't say we're going to stay in this. We are unfortunately going to get colder again in February, but you're right. It is a great start to this month.
Alrighty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making wintry chicken stew in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see why a couple of pickleball players are being hailed as heroes for their quick actions.
Plus, Shannon Becker joins us back in the studio to talk about his big 3 news stories of the week. But that'll wrap it up for now. We'll see you back here Monday morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll, of course, see you today at noon.